This is a great little movement sequence that we can do to prepare our bodies to sit still in meditation. So standing at the top of our mat, taking our feet hips width distance apart, just notice if you feel the knees pointing forward, more or less between the crease of the first and second toe. But as we track our knees, let's put a soft bend in the knees, put our arms by the sides, just gently turn the palms to face forward, and start to stack the ears on top of the shoulders, shoulders on top of the hips, hips on top of the knees, and knees on top of the ankles. And just swaying forward and back, side to side. Let's find this balance point where the full foot is engaged. The inner arches are lifting, the toes are separating, and we're taking space. Let's practice taking space. Finding our breath, settling our mind behind the brain, just let it sit and rest there. Notice if we can start to shift the weight more into the heels as we become more aware of how we're standing. And at the base of the exhalation, let's feel that emptying, that pause. And as we inhale, let's raise the arms up, track the gaze as the thumbs meet, and bring that gaze 1,000,000 miles beyond the fingertips, the thumb tips. Exhale, let's hinge from the hips, placing our fingertips in line with the toes. Tuck the chin, finish the movement. Knees are bent, just gently swaying from side to side. And now inhale, we're going to gaze forward. You'll notice I have a couple of blocks here. Those are optional. If you don't have blocks to use to raise the floor up, if you wanted a little bit more height, just to warm things up. Another option would be to just place your hands on your shins. That can be very good too. So as we press into the shins, it reminds us to engage the muscles of the legs. So just try that and see which one feels right for you. And depending on what technology you have at your disposal, if you have blocks, you can use blocks. And we start here and we work our way towards alignment of the toes. Take it or leave it. Deep breath in, get a long spine. Exhale, forward fold, tucking the chin. 2 more. Inhale, halfway to lift. Softly engaging the quads. Exhale, forward fold. And last one. Inhale, think of lengthening the belly flesh. Long, 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 long. And then lifting the skin up and over the thighs. Last one, tucking the chin. Good. Now, rooting through the feet. Inhale, strong legs all the way up to standing. Exhale, Tadasana or Samastiti. Taking a moment here. And again, let's breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Rooting through the legs, strong. Inhale, lift. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale, home base, Tadasana. So that's the first stage. Just a little warming up. Just take your hands to your hips. Start to sway side to side, forward and back. Just being very intuitive. Finding your pelvis in space. Good, coming back. Strong legs, arms by your side, palms facing forward, opening across the chest. Now pivot at the wrists, your hands can come to face you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, diving forward, hinging at your hips. Lengthening the belly over the thighs. Inhale, halfway to lift. I'm going to place my blocks here. As they get warmer, exhale, stepping the right leg back. Pause, step the left leg back, pause and plank. Now lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthen through the heels. On your next exhalation, lower your knees, come all the way to the floor. Feel like you're pushing the hands into the floor and then rest. Uncurling the toes. We're going to slide into Sphinx. So arms out in front, almost create a box. Inhale to open the heart forward, lifting the navel up and away from the mat, tucking the buttocks towards the heels. Exhale down, curling the toes, pressing up into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up to the sky. Trying to find length in the spine. Let's put a bend in the knees. Lift the sitting bones up the wall. If your problem is to find your lumbar curve, then bend more of your knees. If that's not your problem, you can bring them to more of a micro bend. Press into your inner hands, lengthen your armpits. See if you can get a little bit more space through the spine. Deep breath in. And exhale. We're going to lift the heels. Start to roll through the spine one vertebrae at a time. Tuck the chin. And then unfold the neck, lengthening the crown forward. Exhale, knees come down. And slowly come down to the floor. Push, push, push into the hands. Uncurl the toes. Pause. Inhale, peel the chest up, cobra. Hug the elbows in. Exhale, curling the toes under. Sit your hips over your heels. Finding your way back to down dog. Shaking out your head, any tension. Good. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, let's roll through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthen, pause. Find your strength through seeking length. Exhale, knees come down. Chest elevators down to the floor, uncurl the toes. Second one, inhale, peel the chest up. Maybe lift the hands. Release any tension in the jaw. Hug the elbows in. Curling the toes back. Use your exhalation to find your way back to down dog. Second one. Maybe pedal the feet. Warming up. Take a 45-degree angle with that right foot. Maybe gaze underneath your right armpit. Really pressing into the outer edges of the right foot. Breathe length into your right side body. And then exhale, switch sides. Cutting an angle, 45-degree angle with the left. Lengthen out of your inner hands. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. Deep breath in, and as you really press into this left hand, breathe into that left side. All the way. Good. And then recentering the feet. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, coming forward into plank. Lowering the knees down, or if you want to come all the way down into your chaturanga. Inhale, coming up into cobra, full cobra, hugging the elbows in. Exhale, curling the toes back, downward facing dog. Allowing the chin to come in, resting the gaze onto your navel or the space between your heels. Let's try that again. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, tuck your tail. Start to roll through the spine to come forward. Finding your plank. Long, 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 long. Exhale, either knees come down or elevator down to chaturanga. Uncurling toes. Inhale, lift, cobra. Tops of the feet pressing down, knees are lifted. Now, if you start to bring your head back, drop your gaze to the tip of your nose. Elbows hugging in. Just listen to what the body's ready for. We want to just dance along that edge, moving our way back to downward dog. Dance on that edge of effort. but still keeping it easeful. Pedaling out the feet, and then settle your gaze on a single point. Start to revolve the arms, elbow creases facing forward, lifting the sitting bones up. Last one, inhale, heel lifts. Exhale, tuck your tail under, start to unfold and roll through the spine. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhale to breathe. Take all that breath in. Exhale, either lower your knees or come all the way down to the floor, uncurling the toes. Inhale, up. Now this time you can come past your cobra or drag forward. And then take the mat with you. And then bring your gaze up and back. Drop your eye gaze to the tip of your nose. Good, and then exhale, downward facing dog. We'll try that again. Inhale, heel lift. Exhale, unfold. Deep breath in. Exhale, come down. Inhale, cobra. Chin lifting, gaze to the tip of the nose. Moving the pubic bone forward towards your jaw. Up and, I guess it's forward and up. And exhale, downward dog. And then lowering down, knees come wide, big toes touch. Settling into a wide-legged child's pose for a few breaths. Just feeling the residue of that warm-up. And then inhale, coming forward onto all fours. Ooh, and you're going to shift to the right, shift to the left. Just coming into this classic, spontaneous cat-cow. Feel like you need to confine yourself to these two movements. Just break out of that. And just start to explore what feels interesting. Does this feel interesting to me right now? Yes, it does. I'm going to take a deep breath into that space. Switching sides. So just play. This is our playtime. Really rooting through the inner hand. And we'll curl the toes under, setting our hips over our heels, reaching the hips up and back down dog. Just keeping the legs toned and awake. Inhale, heels lift, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. And now drag those hands towards your feet. Walk the feet towards your hands. Settling them hips width distance. You can take your blocks if that feels good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your gaze to your navel. And then interclasp your fingers. Or grab, stacking palm over palm. And just let the head hang. Shifting your weight from right to left. Good. Place your hands on your blocks or the floor or your shins. Open the toes and come to sit back into a yogic squat. Now, we'll take the hands and take the triceps to the inner thighs. And just, let's create a little bit of a relationship between arm and leg. So they just hug in towards each other. Start to move the skin back across the shoulder head. And we'll just spend a little time here. You can place your hands in a mudra. Come to prayer. If you open the thumbs, press into your outer hands, that can help get a little bit more space across the shoulders. You can try that. Be aware of the collarbones. See if you can give them this room to grow out and not feel congested. And then exhale, we're going to come up nice and slow. For 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly straighten the leg one, and then slowly elevate her down. Now, if you're working with blocks, you can do this. Either place them here, or if you don't have blocks, don't worry, you don't need them. But we're gonna set up the hands, perch ourselves up, bring the big toes to touch and heels together, and then we're gonna open the knees out nice and wide. Now, I'm just gonna reset this slightly so that I can place my hands on the mat. And we're gonna come into a preparation for crow, or you can come into full crow pose. So we'll place the hands, stacking them under the shoulders. Find that relationship between triceps and the inner legs. We're gonna start to coil the tail under, tip the weight forward, bring your gaze straight in front. Use your exhalation to find that inner lift, navel towards the spine. You can pick up one foot at a time. That's a great way to build the strength and muscle memory. Find your home base, big toes, heels together. Inhale to tip forward. Navel lifting, tail tucking under, lift to the other side, gazing forward, broadening across the shoulder blades, and the heart is also trying to stay spacious. It's all about balance, right? And then we'll reset. Just about a foot in front of you. You can pick up one foot at a time or both. And we're just gonna play with the balance here a little bit, forward and back. If you wanna stay in crow, stay in crow. Good. Now let's just move those blocks off to the side, like this. And coming back into our yogic squat, and to reach the tail down. Now, if you do a lot of sitting, this can bring up a lot of sensation. So some alternatives to just spend more time in it is to find a little seat. Perch yourself there. Now, we don't sit into the blocks because that's not giving us much, but we're pushing into our feet. We're staying in the squat with a little bit of support until we feel ready to go a little deeper. And as we explore that, we can use the blocks just as some training wheels until the hips feel strong enough and supple enough with that range of motion to take the blocks away completely. So just play with that. And now we're going to slowly come back up. So push into the legs. If this is really difficult, you can again use blocks to help give you a little bit of extra support to push. We're going to keep coming all the way up using those quads. Open the toes, pointing them forward. And let's just hit the reset button, flowing out of this. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward. Keep that bend in the back knee. Gazing up to the navel. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands. Step the left leg back. Pause, right leg back. Exhale, down to the floor. Inhale, finding your cobra or up dog if you're ready for up dog. And exhale to child's pose. Inhale to come up to all fours. Stacking the hips over the knees. We'll walk the hands out, setting up for a puppy pose. Just allowing the chest to sink down towards the floor. Let the weight of the head be supported by the floor. Use the exhalation to find that receptive quality in the pose. Now inhale to push into the fingertips to come up a little bit. And if you want to take this right arm and thread it through, we'll take the left arm, just fingertipping the floor for some support. If you want, you can explore extending out through that left leg. Getting into the inner leg a little bit here. Deep breath in. See if you can lift it up. Bring it back. Cross it over. And coming back to puppy. Finding the other side. Take the right arm out. Threading the needle on the other side and slide that right arm down just so you feel some stability. Maybe try to level your hips, lifting out of the hip creases a little bit. Finding a nice neutral spine. Maybe lift that right leg up. Play. Press into that left hip a little more. You can get into the inner right leg. Pressing the top of the left hand down. Maybe you want to work on lifting it up. Finding your inner rotation, working your balance. Then over cross, so cross the midline. Maybe press your right toes on the mat. Breathing into this right side stretch. Twist. And exhale, making your way back. Slowly start to unthread. Good. Bring the knees together. Resting your hands on your thighs.